Welcome everyone. It's great to see you all coming in from different parts of the world today. Now, we've always been taught, how important our first impressions are in an in-person setting. But online, our digital first impression is everything. Before you even speak, what is the impression that you are sending across to the people on the other side of the camera? Does it match your brand? Is it coming across subconsciously in their mind that you are a person of importance, that you have credibility before you even start? Now, for many, we are starting to travel. The borders are opening if you're in Australia, across states. And for those who travel internationally, yes, there is a lot more movement happening overseas. And for me, I've just enjoyed a great trip across to Singapore where, I learned a lot. But also things that I did really, really well, and other things around when you are presenting professionally on the go, some things that you need to consider. And they might be really small, but they are actually things that make a huge difference to the ability to communicate effectively online and make a powerful digital first impression. So today, I'm going to need your full attention because we are going to move fast. And this is a real taste to, how you can look at it from an amateur, kind of a standard presenting point of view, and then from a professional. So we're really going to dive into the technical sides. And as I go through, I'm going to go, okay, here's real baseline amateur stuff, but I need you to step up to standard. And if you're ready to go for it, then I need to see you having a go at professional when it comes to how you set things up and how you present yourself well. Now, so keep that in mind as we go through. Feel free to pop things into the chat. I'll try and catch them as we go and keep interacting. If we miss anything, we will make sure we get some info out afterwards. All right, so feel free to take any screenshots if you would like as well. Now, the first aspect here and that I want to dive into quickly is around our camera. Okay, so you might see right now that my camera looks, relatively clear and professional. Now let's go back to what does it look like from an amateur status when I'm going just off the laptop camera? Okay, quite a big difference. There's the laptop camera. There is now a DSLR. All right, so amateur level laptop. If you want to go to standard level, then you go to a webcam. Then if you want to go to professional level, then you get a camera that is a DSLR. So you can actually put the focus on you, put things in the background out of focus. Now today, my background is not as much out of focus as it normally is because I want to show you some things as we go through. Now let's go to the second one here, which is framing. Okay, so I'm going to go off screen now. So the second one here is around our ability to be framed on screen. Now, if you look at the grid view, quite a few of you are in a pretty good position. Now, if you look at mine here, you can see from my elbows up and already because I've got really good posture, you're looking and go, okay, this is a person of importance. This person already has some credibility before I even speak. I'm grounded in a good position. Now, I'm going to talk about this framing aspects I'm going to talk about now is all amateur level. Okay, the first one is camera at eye level. Okay, quite often we will see people who are down low and they're looking up at their camera. Okay, and they don't look very important anymore. Okay, then we get those who, and I will shift to the other camera here. Then we get those who like to look down. Okay, and it's as though they're telling you what to do and they're looking down on you and they think they're more important than the people on there. Now, it may not be your intention, but that's how subconsciously it comes across for the people on the other side of the camera. Okay, so camera eye level. Second one, the law of thirds. Anyone who's been in TV, the law of thirds, where you position yourself on the screen. Eyes, 1/3 down from the top. Neck in the middle and chest bottom third. Okay, that's how you want to position yourself when you're online. So you can make adjustments as we're going here, as we're going along. Okay, we talked about elbows being showing. Now, this is because hand gestures. Now, if I'm too close, all you get to see is little fingers every now and then. And we actually learn quite a lot from hand gestures. So if all we're seeing is little fingers, it's a bit distracting. Rather than if we sit back and we've got those elbows up, we can see a full gesture. Okay, so really, really powerful. And then the next aspect is light on your face, right? That's an amateur thing. We need light on your face so there's no shadows because we want eye contact. We learn so much through communication through the eyes, okay? So that's 4 aspects: camera at eye level, eyes 1/3 down, elbows, from the elbows up on the screen, and light on your face. Okay, we're now going to go to the 3rd aspect. As I said, we're going to move pretty quick today. The 3rd aspect is our background. Okay, so we've gone camera, framing. This 3rd one is our background. Now, from a background point of view, I'm going to still talk amateur level here, okay, to begin with. Now, your background, what is in your frame and what is behind you, is there to support you and is not the main focus. A lot of people try and make what's behind them the big focus. Okay, so what you want to be able to do here is to avoid big attraction and big distractions. Okay, so an attraction would be a human-like figure. So say you've got a round clock. Okay, it's kind of like a face. If it's near the head, it will be an attraction for someone looking. If you've got photos of your kids and they're really close in your background, it's an attraction. People will focus their attention on those human beings. So it's okay to have photos of your family, etc., or key things, but put them further back so people know, yep, family's important to them, but my attention's focused on the person who's presenting. We want to keep it simple. Now, for some of you, you might be in a place where it's really tricky to get something. So even just a white background is absolutely fine, right? Because you want the focus on you. A white background with nothing else is absolutely fine. Or you could do something like Farika, who's got pretty much a white background. She's kind of caught in a corner and she's done the best she can in this situation and put a plant there. Okay, it's subtle. We're going to notice the plant, go, that's nice, but we're not going to draw our attention the whole time. You have white here. Yes, sure, that's good. Good contrast there, Grant, really important. Now, the other amateur thing is a virtual background. Now, we've got to be careful with virtual backgrounds. Unless you use a green screen, I would recommend avoiding it. It's too easy to lose your hands when you're moving fast, and you might have halos when you get close to the top of the screen. It becomes a distraction. If you have a green screen, that's absolutely fine, but be careful of using virtual backgrounds if you don't have that green screen. And I would encourage you to avoid using video behind you unless it's part of a presentation or you're someone that likes to do keynote speaking. It's just too much of a distraction. Looks cool, but it's a distraction. All right, now we're going to go more to standard and professional. Now you might see in the back here, I've got a Chesterfield chair on this side, and I've got a gramophone on this side with also a bit of a light there. Now I'm sitting up on a stool right now, so you can't see the full thing. If I was sitting lower, you would see the mood light in the background, and I'll talk about lighting a bit longer. Now, if I decided to, and I'm just going to position this here. If I decided to only show that part of the gramophone and the chair, it would be a distraction. You're trying to figure out what is that thing on that side. So if you've got something unique, which creates a mood, make sure you can see the full thing. Okay, Chesterfield chair. So for me, this mood setting is about me working with executives. I'm a CEO. I work in the leadership space. It sells high performance and it sets the mood. Very simple. You'll see some lighting there, and I'll discuss that more shortly. You'll also see in this side, I have a logo. Now that is a virtual overlay. That's something that you can do more professional by using something like Ecamm Live or OBS to put a virtual overlay. I'm not going to go into that today. It's a bit more advanced and is a bigger conversation. All right, from there. And good, yeah, Grant, the green screen does need its own lighting as well. Okay, we're going to go to the next aspect now. So that's number 3, background. We're now going to look at lights. So lighting and how important lighting is. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. Now, an amateur will be looking at, do I use natural light through a window versus lights above you? Okay, right now I have no natural light and I have no lights above me. Okay, it's kind of the amateur space, don't need to spend any money. Now, if you want to get lighting on your face, obviously you can just grab a lamp from your house. You can have it pointed toward, if you're close to a white wall, you can reflect it off the white wall and that will give you some color. If for whatever reason you need it to face you, put a pillowcase over top so it softens it, otherwise it's too harsh on your face. Okay, it's amateur level, but it is something you can do if you don't have anything else. Now, I'm going to just show you now a couple of different things that I have here in front of me. I'm just going to switch to another camera. Okay, so, all right, so in front of me, I've got this big light here. Okay, that's a soft box. And that soft box is designed for camera setup. I've also got a flat light in front of me. And then I have another soft box on this side. The one on the right side that I'm showing you now is a bit further back. So when you look at my face, there is a subtle difference between a little bit darker on one side and lighter on the other. Okay, so that's a couple of options that you can use from a lighting perspective. Now, if we look at that, that's starting to go more into standard. Do we need soft lights, soft box, ring lights? You know, some people use ring lights, but we do have to be careful with ring lights. We need to think about positioning. If you've got glasses like me, you would have noticed that I was looking up then with the camera. My lights are above my eye line. So you've got to think about where positioning is. I have to look right up there before the light hits my glasses. So if you've got ring lights or you've got soft boxes or other lights in front of you, make sure they're high enough and to the sides so they don't affect you. Now, if we go to a little bit more professional, you'll now see I'm using some lights behind me. So let's switch camera again here and let's have a look what's behind me. All right, so in this corner here, I have a light. Now it's showing a little bit mauve. It's actually a blue light. But I can change the color of that light and it reflects off the top of the Chesterfield chair. Now I've done something a bit more advanced. I've actually put a light behind the chair to kind of give it a bit more depth and emphasis. I've then got a warm light at the back. It can't be harsh, like a light in the background. It needs to be quite soft. And then I have another one lighting the gramophone. All right, so normally you wouldn't have so many lights, but for me, I found the best way to set this up was to actually use those amount of lights. Now I can actually control all of those lights from one of these. They're all wireless. So I have a couple of these. I can actually control every single light in my room, and that's more advanced professional level, but you can do it. Okay, we're now going to go from lighting and we're now going to look at the next one, which is our microphone. Now, an amateur would be using kind of your standard laptop microphone. Okay, when we start going to more standard, we might use, and I'm just going to stop sharing. We might use like a microphone that's sitting on our desk. We could even use a lapel. So it might be a lapel that we connect to our jacket. That's kind of standard level. For those who really want to go that next level up, we look at a shotgun mic, and I'll switch camera so you can see where mine is positioned. All right, so there's a shotgun mic there. It's sitting above the camera. Okay, and that then is quite directional and it will shut out sound from outside and other areas. Okay, so you can also use an extension boom where you have a microphone sitting above you. That's also really powerful as well. Not so good when you go on the go, an extension arm, but you know, if you are working from home, or you're going to sit up in a remote office for a while, it's quite useful as well. Now, one thing to check before you go online, and no matter where you are positioned, always check that your microphone level at 75% speaker volume is where you want it. Not at 50%, not at 100%. So you want it to be perfect at 75%. And if you're doing team stuff, check that everyone's is the same volume at the 75% mark on the speaker as well. Okay, next one we're going to dive into here is your acoustics. Okay, so the sixth one here is acoustics. Now that is to do with how you set up in your room, right? So sometimes you might hear really tinny where there's lots of hard surfaces and the sound is bouncing off everywhere. Okay, an amateur, you can look at whether you've got hard or soft surfaces. Someone who's looking at more of going to a standard level is things like having curtains in your room, bookshelves in your room. Bookshelves are fantastic. Have them all set at different heights and levels. It will soften the sound and reduce the reflections that come directly back towards you. You can even hang towels and rugs. You know, when you're in a hotel, you might have a lot of hard surfaces. Hang towels over top of mirrors, over top of windows. It sounds really silly, but it makes a big difference. And even if you've got a hard surface below you, even think about rugs, or if you're in a hotel, put down some towels below you so it stops reflections bouncing back up or reduces them. Now, if you want to go a little bit more professional, if you're in a more of a remote home setup, then you can do something like, and I'm not sure if you can see it, there we go. I put acoustic panels, and I've got, say, 6 acoustic panels in front of me, which softens the blow coming back. I would like to have a few more in here, but I don't at the moment. There we go, back on me. So that's acoustics. And so they're kind of like 7 key fundamentals that you want to have a look at when it comes to getting things set up. Actually, we're going to go one more. Here's number 7. Sorry, I missed this off. Now, this one here, if you are presenting lots and even when you're on the go, having external monitors. So, right, so here's my laptop. I've got 1, 2 external monitors, especially if you, excellent. Sorry, thanks for sending that through, Grant. Is everyone else hearing my audio okay? I'm just going to turn that off for a second. Everyone off. Okay, so maybe just a little crackle there, sorry. So having extra screens. Now, you would have seen there, one of my screens was purely for slides. I set the slides up in SlideShare mode, and I don't have to touch it again. The other one had details around what's going on, timing, all that sort of thing, communication with my team, even the chat there. So that's, you know, really, really powerful to have that. Now, when traveling, if I got a standard monitor, right, this is quite heavy, it's a little bit thick, okay, that there weighs a couple of kgs. Not the most useful when you are traveling. So have a look at finding a lightweight traveling monitor. And I found this one, it's the Espresso, and 15-inch. I love this. Look how thin that is. It's thinner than my laptop. It slides in my laptop bag. Okay, as you can see, it's like a tablet, which it is as well. I can also draw on this. You know what's cool? There's the stand. Now, the stand, I can fold up like that. Sits in my laptop bag. What's really cool, you're probably wondering how it connects. I open that up. It's a magnet. It's connected by a magnet. All right, and I can actually adjust the angle of it, and then it's connected by USB-C to USB-C for a Mac, and I can also do HDMI connection as well. All right, so that's something that you consider if you're traveling. I'm actually getting a second one because I realize I love using 2 portable screens, and I'll take both with me when I travel in the future, which is cool. Yes, you can use your TV in the hotel room, It depends how close you want things positioned to cameras as well. All right, what I'm going to do now, though, is we've gone through a lot of fundamentals, and you can use these anywhere. I'm now going to go more specific to when we are actually traveling as well. All right, so let's have a look here at things that we can pack when we are traveling. And I'm going to go from amateur to standard to then what a professional will also include here. Okay, so everyone see the slides okay? Thumbs up. Excellent. Okay, so first one here is laptop, obviously, and cables. All right, I'll delve into what cables shortly. Standard, we then go into using a portable keyboard, and I'm not sure if you can see my screen. I always carry a portable keyboard, especially with a laptop, because it means I can raise the laptop up if I'm just using the camera off the laptop, and I can also position it closer to the DSLR camera when I'm traveling. Portable mouse, or as well, obviously wireless makes sense. USB clicker if you are presenting, make sure you got one of those handy and the batteries are charged. External hard drive, obviously, SD cards, really important. Now let's go to professional. Portable trackpad. If you're using a laptop, a Mac, a portable trackpad is really powerful. Two things here. When you're presenting, you cannot hear the click. There's no click sound. Okay, and it's nice and easy to move around, and I can have the laptop higher. Okay, next part here. I've just lost my mouse. There we go. Is portable monitor. I showed you that one before. Portable lights. Now I'll show you those in a second, and I'll show you how I packed everything to go to Singapore. DSLR camera. I showed you the Canon there before that I like to use. I use a Canon EOS M6 Mark II. And with a fixed lens, which I find really powerful. Tripod, I've got tripods, small one and a bigger one. And then a green screen if you're someone who likes to use a green screen or you might be recording something. All right, let's have a look at how this looked. So there was the light stands, a tripod, and that's actually a pull-up banner. Now I was able to put all of those in one of my travel bags. And sorry, there we just got on the screen. All right, so let's have a look at the cables that we're using on this trip. So phone and laptop charger when you're traveling, obviously makes sense. HDMI cable, USB, travel converter plug. Make sure you got one of those. I don't have one handy. Make sure you can use it anywhere in the world. Always have one, two of those. I generally take two. Okay, let's step it up here. Now a multi-port, so that you can connect multiple things, as well as making sure that it can connect to a LAN for high-speed internet, so you can put the cable into the broadband directly in a hotel or into someone else's office. Having not just, you can't rely on Wi-Fi. Extension cord, power board multi-plug. Even if it's not used in the country, you've got your travel converter plug to use those. And then professional internet LAN 5 high-speed cable, and I'll show you one in a second if you're not sure what that is. Make sure it's 5 to 10 meters. Always have one, because the Wi-Fi you cannot guarantee in hotels or places you're in. All right, so this is, and I'm going to go back a second here. All right, so that was a carry-on bag I took on the plane. And as you can see here, there's a whole lot of cables. I've got 2 DSLR cameras. I've got a shotgun mic. I've got podcast recording, a small tripod there, a couple of extra cables, battery pack, plus you can actually see the LAN cable there. It's got the little red piece. And I'll go to the next, let's go past here. All right, so there's the LAN cable on the right, and you can see the portable light I'm using. Now that was a carry-on bag I took on the plane. Everything fitted in there apart from the tripods, which went in my other bag. There's a setup I did at an Airbnb. Behind me was actually a brick wall, worked amazing. I took the 2 lights, and I actually had another portable screen with me on that trip. As you can see, I'm using just the standard box to boost it up. You've got to be creative. All right, so here's what I did inside, and obviously I'm a bit fuzzy here, but you can see the backdrop. I did this by moving stuff around in a hotel in Singapore to create a professional looking backdrop. This is what it looked like from the front. So you can see the lights there, the cameras there, a little tripod, and you may notice the tripod is sitting on something. I've got the external monitor on a photocopier box I got from downstairs, and I've got a couple of books under the laptop to make that work. Now, you can also see the 2-minute noodle pots. It worked a treat. I was able to move the camera to the right spot perfectly. They slid across the table. And you can also see the external keyboard and trackpad there as well, and the soft light in the background. That's what it looked like from the front. All right, here's another setup. Now you can see in here, you can see a bed. Now, if you have to have a bed in your background, get rid of the pillows. And people will then, they actually won't think about it being a bed. They'll just go, oh, okay, it's just a white angle. All right, so that's just a little trick there. You just remove the pillows, which I did just after taking that photo. Here's Sam Cawthorn's setup. He was producing videos while he was traveling, so he actually used green screen. His room's not as tidy as mine. You can see he's actually got a teleprompter there, so he went even more professional because he was recording. And he even used an ironing board when he was at another hotel that I saw one day. So you can rig up stuff with anything as well. All right, so just a few things there when you are traveling to consider. And so hopefully today was a quick insight into what you can use when you're on the go. Some other things as well, just to remember when you're in a hotel or even is to make sure you close the curtains unless you're facing the window and the light's on you, because it's too strong in the background. Avoid the bed we talked about. Move things around, be resourceful. I had actually moved the bed 1.5 meters to the right. I grabbed a couple of bedside tables, put them together to create my desk space because their desk was in the wrong spot. So be really resourceful as well. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time today. This was a really fast kind of going from amateur to standard to professional. And, this is something we do as part of some of our programs where we look at that digital first impression and as well. But hopefully when you get traveling, you've now got a few ideas and options to be resourceful and stand out from the crowd.